Yeah. Choosing unavailable partners. Why do we choose unavailable partners? It's worth exploring some of the cocktail of reasons that we actually do that. Because, of course, the being unable to leave thing, there are things that make it harder for us to leave when, we have a certain attachment style or we don't think we're worth more. But also just when you allow yourself to get closer to someone, naturally it's hard to leave. So it's worth exploring why we even get close to people like this in the first place and make it hard for ourselves to leave. So one of the reasons is scarcity. We have a scarcity mindset in our love lives. We are in a place where maybe we've been single for a long time, where nothing's worked out so far, where we are scared that we're not going to meet someone we like. And so when we meet someone who has certain qualities that make them likable, that especially when those qualities include chemistry, we have chemistry with this person, we find ourselves very quickly attaching a lot of value to someone, regardless of the things that make them a bad candidate for a long-term relationship, which might include they openly say they don't want a long-term relationship, might include them being someone who from the beginning seems there's something off about them, or you catch them in a lie. It might be someone who doesn't text you for days or weeks on end, and then all of a sudden wants your time in a very kind of extreme and intense way. When we see these things, we ignore them when we feel something, and we're glad to be feeling something. How often does that happen? We're just happy to be feeling something. We're just happy to have something.
And the thing is, I think it's a beautiful thing to want companionship, but in a weird way, this comes back to a thing Audrey says a lot about chasing the wrong things. But you can sometimes just chase a singular thing too much, like companionship. And you've put in the furniture of the room of what's important to you, you've put companionship as the centerpiece. But you've forgot all these other things, or you've shrunk them, like my integrity, my feeling of feeling nourished and loved, my feeling of being able to have the kind of team and partnership that I've dreamed of. And that all shrinks because you go, companionship though, I'm with someone, it gives me validation, it looks good on the outside because someone goes, oh, you're with that person, that's good. And I think it's like you've misallocated. You've got one thing that's taking up too much space, which is just, oh, I'm with someone, I don't feel lonely anymore. Which is why we do so much work on making you feel amazing and nourished being single, because that is the key to being able to let go of those things. I think it's Guy Winch who says when you're trying to get over a breakup, you got to emphasize all the things you're gaining by not being with that person and all the things you were losing by staying with them.
Well, this person, I think both of these things come from just fear to me, where, choosing someone, an unavailable partner, it's like that's a way to just never really fully feel like you need to put yourself out there. It's like, well, they're not really available anyways, so it's not me if I get rejected. And the same thing with leaving. Well, it's like you're putting yourself in limbo there. Someone's kind of unavailable. I'm going to kind of stay. I'm going to kind of not go. And I'm just not going to be truly vulnerable with this person in front of me. Or I'm not going to be truly vulnerable, not with the person, but just with love life in general.
I've got a question. When people say emotionally unavailable, do they just mean someone who won't commit, or is there something else people are referring to?
I think they mean someone who won't commit. I think it's not being ready and not able to give what is required in order to be in a relationship.
Mistaken perception of the value of love being in acquiring a prize instead of the value of it is what you both are going to build together.
And maybe that's actually to do with also movies and stuff like that, where all of love stories are always about kind of overcoming this major obstacle, or taming the beast, or making sure that making somebody love you, rather than like what happens after people get together and you're just in a relationship, in a normal, regular relationship. And that part's never really glamorized in the same way. So the sort of the peaks are the things that we almost chase after because we think that's love and we recognize that as passion. And maybe then emotionally unavailable people as a result feel like the epitome of that, and the epitome of acquiring love.
Yeah.
No, that's right. There's an intensity to chasing someone that feels unavailable, and then the feeling you get when they give you a little bit of attention. It feels like a rush. You know, it's exciting, it's euphoric, it's this huge release. It's not a normal feeling that you have in a stable relationship. So if you live your life chasing that feeling, you're going to have to keep going and getting those highs in people like that, where it's push-pull all the time. There's no sense of just, oh, there's a piece to this. Peace doesn't necessarily feel exciting. And if exciting is what you're always driving towards, if that's the thing you value the most, then you'll be attracted to situations that create those kinds of feelings.